Hello, and welcome to Cult of Tea and Dice Let's Play. I am Bloodied, and we are back. And we are back with another Pixel Pulp. So this is the second full game from LCB, for Varney Lake. I'm pronouncing it Varney, I guess it may be Varney. That title alone, if you know your Penny Dreadfuls, will tell you what's going on here in this one. But yeah, this is set in the same universe as Mothman 1966 and Jolly Slaughter? Is it Jolly Slaughter? The Christmas one that's available for free. But yeah, I did mention at the end of Mothman that they were doing more. Varney Lake actually literally came out, I think, like a day or two before I did Mothman. So that went pretty well. I picked it up, and yeah, really enjoyed Mothman. So hopefully this should match. Let's give it a go. Jimmy. On summer 1954. Truth or dare? Oh, this is getting saucy right from the off. The question takes you by surprise. I don't know why you ask him. He always makes the same choice. Oh, got a little eyebrow action going on there with Doug. Nice one, Doug. Oh. Let's go. Dare. Dare. What did I tell you, huh? As hard as it is to admit, Doug is right. Dare always was the easy option for you. Christine bites her lip. Let's see. I know. You're going to try Doug's new game. Huh? Wouldn't you rather make me eat a beetle? Okay, I'm a little worried about the smile there. Does this dude... Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, fuck. Sorry, something just hit me. Yeah. We'll do a handstand on an ant nest? Yeah, he's way too into that idea. It's just wrong. Yeah, you two laugh. You'll need me later to learn new tricks. Christine taps you on the shoulder. You look at her. She smiles at you. Can't think of anything to say. You feel like every step you don't open your mouth is another missed opportunity. And you know that when you go to sleep and run the conversation in your head, 1,000 things you could have said to her will come to you. Spirit of the Escalier. You think you hear someone whistling. Are you imagining things now? You're still bothered about yesterday. Why didn't you wait for Doug or Christine to arrive? What did you want to prove? You try to think of something else, like why your skin is bright yellow. Are you in The Simpsons? Like your mum says, what's done is done. You clear your throat. Dear listeners, yeah, fuck yeah. Okay. We formally kick off our new summer at Varney Lake. Doug claps his hands and Christine wolf whistles. Christine is a year and 10 months older. But when you do the radio host voice, you don't feel the age gap as much. She's Doug's cousin, and this is the 4th summer you've spent together. She lives with just her mum. Her dad died in the Korean War. Doug's a few months younger than you. He's still 12, but turns 13 in a few weeks. He never knew his father, and his mother is Christine's aunt. Christine, Doug, and you are all only children. And what had started as a joke ended up formalizing into the idea of a club. So make yourselves comfortable. You pause and point to Doug and Christine. The all-new adventures of the Only Child Club are about to begin. The club had been Doug's idea, but it was Christine who suggested trying to raise the money to buy the old Varney Lake drive-in theatre. They say you can see strange lights at night. Christine makes a noise with her mouth. You say? Doug doesn't answer. It wouldn't be the headlights of ghost cars, would it? You laugh. Doug takes a deep breath and shakes his head from side to side. People died in that fire. Real people. Don't you see his face, Jimmy? He's fucking with you. Doug laughs and makes some faces at you. You let out a laugh and threaten to punch him in the stomach. You get to the old sycamore tree and try to erase the memory of that time when you chickened out of kissing Christine. Jimmy? You there? It had all started 2 summers ago. Doug had shown you a book he was obsessed with. He wouldn't tell you where he'd found it. The book provided lots of valuable information on games played with cards, matchsticks, dice. Actually, can we keep the money? It isn't going to be big enough, right? Doug opens his backpack, takes out a deck of cards, and hands it to you. In the last few years, you 3 had raised enough money to get your hopes up. Remember what we promised? Christine tucks her hair behind her ear. Before the youngest member of the club turns 18, Doug beats his chest. That would be me. We'll buy the drive-in. Solitaire game I invented is going to make us so much money. It's called Solitaire 10. You'll see why. Is it impossible? The idea is to start your driver and try and add cards to get to 10. Okay, so it's not the impossible Solitaire from Mothman 1966. Maybe Solitaire is just a recurring theme. Maybe the developer just really likes Solitaire. I don't know. 10, but isn't the Jack worth 11? Yes, the Jack 11, the Queen 12, and the King 13. So, Doug pauses before revealing the key to his creation. Depending on the colour of the card you turn over, cards you choose from the board will either add or subtract to the total. Try as you might, you find it hard to follow Doug's instructions. Doug seems to realise this and signals you to wait. If the first card is red, red cards will add to the total, and black cards will subtract. And if it's black, black cards will be the ones that add, and the red cards are the ones that subtract. And what happens if you can't reach 10? You turn over a new card and continue with that one. Christine remains silent. She seems to be about to say something, but in the end she doesn't. And get this? Doug can't hide his excitement. You reach 10 using all 10 cards available. You shout Super 10 and win outright. Doug taps you on the shoulder. You make a Super 10 and I give you a dare. Well, just get started. Run out of cards to turn over and can't make 10. You count the cards in the pot and that's your final score. Okay, so, right, so we've got red. So it will be... Red will add, and then black will subtract. Okay, so select a card. Okay. Okay, so we're now at 10. This is tricky because there's a lot of red in here. Okay. Takes better into 8. Episode 21. You want to play 21s? Okay. So what, can I just, like, add that to that and then just end turn? Okay. Okay, so I can keep doing this bit by bit. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm intrigued here. So if we Okay. So this time black adds and red subtracts. Okay. Ah, so aces are only counting as one. Okay. Jack tens. Right, so if I get queen, that makes a 10. Okay. And 12. A fairly quick and simple way to do this on this one. Right, so now it's reds adding in, so... Hmm. Oh, got my idea. Okay, hold on. So goes to the right, goes to the right. Now card total, that makes it 22. And other ace. And then add black 10. Okay, so that's some. Wait, no, if we add 7, that puts us 18. And if we move black 8, there we go. Let's go in there. Black 4. If we okay, let's add king up to 17. Then oh wait, no. Oh wait, oh yes, no. Hold on, let's add black queen. That is a queen 9. And then, aha, yes, so then we add that. And then we add that. And then we add that. And we have 10. Okay, so we start on 12. Cheap and easy way is click this on left and looped it around, and that would have been so much easier, but never mind. Okay. Let's go. Keep this moving. Total. Total. Right, okay. It's another clean up. Jack's worth 11, so if we add... Total, and then we add Jack. Okay, right. So we are actually... Okay, so we are in the final stretch here. Can I pull this off? Probably not, but let's find out. Okay, well, so let's just... so let's add in all the red. So I know what we've got to subtract away. So we're going to have 25. Which is more... Well, the black's going to add up to more than 25, so that's not going to be workable. But we'll get what we can. Which I think probably if we wanted to go... So I think probably the easiest way to do this is... Do that. Right, cursor, right, cursor, right, cursor, right. No. Oh, wait, no. Oh, I can't just select one. Oh, well, except. You get the cards in the pot. 48. Is it any good? Cousin? Now what? Christine seems to enjoy the situation. There's an easy way to make a super 10. Oh, how? Christine starts to explain something, but you stop paying attention. You'll hear a whistling sound that makes your gut clench. You see Brandon in the distance. Your heart starts to race. They're looking for you. Well, doesn't he look like a super chap? Ladies and gentlemen, the dangers of inbreeding. Notice the flat nose, like a pug. Difficulty breathing. Guys, fucked up. Doug and Christine suddenly shut up. What do you mean you fucked up? Jimmy. You point to a spot on the horizon and your voice cracks. It's just the Brandon. You pause and try to sound more confident. Yesterday we played dice and I fleeced him. Christine taps you on the shoulder and Doug throws his head into his hands. Fucking hell. They're gonna kill us. Come on, come over here. Get down. Christine is almost 2 years older than you, but there are times when you feel even younger next to her. You walk non-stop for more than half an hour. Brandon doesn't kill us. The heat will. You look at Doug. The cream he uses is invisible, but it's got a strong smell. I've gotten used to it, but it still hits your nostrils from time to time. Is it true what his mother says? Doug's the only boy you know who's allergic to the sun. I can't believe you didn't wait for us yesterday. Okay, do we try to mention the subject? Brandon wanted a rematch. I didn't think he'd figure out Doug's trick. Thought. That's your problem. You think too much. You keep quiet and look straight ahead. You can't bring yourself to hold Christine's gaze. Sorry to interrupt you, but we've reached the river. Little River is one of the main tributaries of Varney Lake. Is it safe? You take a deep breath and cross the old bridge at full speed. The distance makes you feel better, because even though you like her, Christine intimidates you. Come on, Doug. Don't be a pussy. Doug looks at Christine, and Christine points at the bridge. Your turn. Doug starts to cross. A board moves and he lets out a scream. Christine laughs. It's beautiful, but it makes you feel hollow. And that hollowness reminds you that Christine's been dating a boy from her hometown for several years. And when summer's over, she'll be back with him. Over there, see? Yes. What is it? No freaking idea. Could we go see? Christine nods and Doug shrugs. You've never been to this part of Varney Lake before. How far have we walked already? Not far enough yet. Brandon is... He seems to be looking for the right word. Bitter. A son of a bitch, you think. You walk faster to try and keep some thoughts out of your head. Christine follows behind you and Doug. Oh. New headquarters for the club? Gets my vote. Is it abandoned? Let's go and see. You all run to the entrance of the mill with a surprising energy. Although the door is open, the sense of confinement is intense. There's a guy in there. The sun. For a few seconds, no one says anything. Duck seems to remember something and starts going through his backpack. My mum bought this allergy cream for me. The sun. Something about the man's desperation moves you. You grab Doug's hand and shake your head. You think of your grandfather. The day he died, you'd read him a letter from your grandmother. When you finished and you thought he'd fallen asleep, you got up carefully and walked to the door. But he was not asleep. Whispering, he asked you to close all the curtains. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Half an hour later, you found him dead in his bed. And you could swear he was smiling. He doesn't need any cream, Doug. Just wants a little darkness. The sun is coming in through 2 different windows. One high up, the other full of broken glass. Cover the windows. You think that asking doesn't proceed to stand in front of the lowest window. It's full of glass and it's dangerous. As for the higher window, there's no way to cover it without using some kind of tool. Search through the rubble. Blanket, read. You lift the blanket and shake it a little. In one of the mill, you find some long reeds. You grab one. Leave the reed and blanket on the floor. You ask Doug and Christine for help, and you lift the old plough. You bring it up to the wall and prop it up, trying to block the light coming through the high window. Light's still coming in. Okay, maybe it's in. Let's do better. You nod, and you all move the plough again. Watch out for the glass. Move it closer to the window, and gently rest it to block the light coming from outside. Excellent. I think you ask something. Okay. Search the rubble. Grab blankets. Read. The windows. Use reed and blanket with high window. Something occurs to you. Same technique your mum uses to remove cobwebs from high ceilings. Only she uses a broom and an old rag. You put the blanket over the reed and lean the reed against the wall. You try to block the light coming through the window without success. You need another reed to stretch the blanket and cover more surface area. Reed. The windows. You lean the second reed against the wall and tuck it under the blanket. Moving the 2 reeds carefully, you stretch the blanket to block all the light coming through the high window. Incredible cheekbones. Doug's canteen bounces off one of the walls and lands in the rubble with a thud. You're not even sure you saw the old man lashing out. And you wonder if your brain isn't filling in the blanks. Ah. You help the old man up. Who is he? And why is he dressed like that? You turn your head towards the door. The old man raises his hand, his gaze fixed upon the animal. Whoa. None of you move a muscle. You think of Brandon laughing about he and his brothers used to kill rabbits. Point the flashlight at them. Freeze like idiots. Approach slowly and a good hit does the rest. But what followed was no hit at all. Fucking hell. Yes, this is a fucking vampire game. Yeah, everyone is having a sudden reaction to vampire. Yes, I am doing that voice for a vampire because fuck you. The body of the deer lay limp at the feet of the vampire. It's noon, and the same sun you blocked from the old mill shines with all its intensity over Varney Lake. Yes, catch the Penny Dreadful reference. Varney the Vampire is considered one of the first vampire novels. Predating Bram Stoker's Dracula. Anyway, it's the return of our favourite Hank Hill lookalike, Lou! To autumn 1981. So yeah, this is set over 2 time frames. And this is the second one, 1981. And it involves our friend Lou. Isn't that nice? I wonder if Goat Baby is going to be showing up at all. I liked Goat Baby. I can only imagine the fear you must have felt. Nyack. Jimmy remains silent, staring at some point behind your head. After his detailed account of that first encounter with the vampire, he seems somewhat changed. You can't really say how. You look towards the door. Will she come, as she promised? Jimmy sighs and looks down. What's he thinking about? He doesn't know about it, but you've got your hands on the reports about his involvement in the Vietnam War through an acquaintance. You include any of that in your new book? To ask again, I'll change the subject. Do you like the rain? You look out the window and think of the people running around looking for shelter. I was always afraid of the rain. Some images come to your mind. Images of cars floating, people walking through water almost waist high. But it wasn't your childhood that you'd come to talk about today. Other coffee? Jimmy shakes his head, and you don't insist. You think of your editor, of the words he said to you the last time you met. Your career wouldn't survive another failure. Jimmy settles back in his chair. What the fuck is this guy doing? Oh my god, it's Shredder! Shredder's watching. Wants to know if there's any Ninja Turtles involved. Fuck. I don't know what I'm afraid of, Lou. Do you ever forget a name? Director of a movie? The author of a book? If something like that happens to you, it becomes obsessed. Goes into a loop, trying to remember that name even when you don't care anymore. The answer can appear at any moment. You're watching TV, washing the dishes. Stubbornness. The freedom of your mind could work behind the scenes. But we're an independent entity. What's the limit, Lou? have an end? You remain silent, feeling how the distance between you and Jimmy grows with each passing second. For you, these questions were never rhetorical. You know that there are not many people prepared to listen to the answers. Here it is. After talking on the phone, you had your doubts. But in the end, he came. You'd chosen this table so that Jimmy was sitting with his back to the door. You needed the surprise effect. Jimmy? Christine? Time seems to stand still, and neither of them moves. How long has it been? 27 years. Wow. You notice the way Jimmy seems to stumble over his words. You know that love is nothing more than an adaptive trick to perpetuate the species. As with any other magic trick, knowing there's a trick is not enough to escape its effects. Come, let's sit at the table. Jimmy, I can't believe it. Jimmy smiles, and you look away. There's something about the gesture that makes you uncomfortable. As if the muscles in his face have forgotten what a smile looks like. I'm a little late. I'm sorry. Well, don't worry about it. We've just started. You tell Christine what you were talking about with Jimmy. That day in the summer of 1954, when you met the vampire. You tell him about Doug? Cousin? Jimmy nods, starts drumming his fingers on the table. Why is he drumming his fingers on the table? Although you assume it's a nervous gesture, Jimmy's fingers seem to be asking something of Christine. That summer was... I'm sorry. Thought I was ready. You lean forward and take a deep breath. You know you can't miss this opportunity. You tell them what you can about your new book. At first, you find it hard to articulate some of the ideas. You're not selling a project to a publisher. Gradually, you find your tone, and you are aware of the effect your words have on both Jimmy and Christine. You even talk about memory as a way of purging the present to a point when you are feeling particularly poetical. But you know that memory can be that, and much more. You don't feel comfortable. Why are you doing all this? What your editor thinks really so important? Readers? Anyway, you would manage to spur a change. And Christine seems determined to talk. You have to understand that we were kids. Kids. You find it interesting that Christine uses the same arguments as Jimmy. Someone was just beginning. Oh, I miss that feeling. Shredder, when do you get to the turtles? They seem to go on forever. And we could do anything. Kind of the vampires! What? Scene. Chapter 3. Summer 1954. I really do like the way it switches to the different interior monologues. I like that. That's really cool. What do you think the odds are? You like this feeling. Almost as if you were floating. Little pixels. And everything weighed a little less. You needed this. And you know your mum did too. The same odds as shuffling a deck of cards and getting all that's already been dealt. In the history of all mankind. Wait a minute. How? I read somewhere that you shuffle a deck of 52 cards well. You shuffle it very well, 4 or 5 times. Like this. Even though you're not looking at him, you can imagine Doug shuffling an invisible deck of cards. The odds of getting a card order someone already got are infinitely small. There's a slight breeze. Try to imagine what could be the possible configuration for you to see it. How small? Like 1 in, I don't know, a huge number. I think it had like 67 zeros? Wow. Does a number that big even have a name? You can't help but smile. Jimmy is nothing like your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is taller, bigger, more self-confident. I think we're going to see it. Neither one of them says anything. But you know they're waiting for you to go on. Doug, your little cousin, who's always idolized and feared you in equal measure. Jimmy, Doug's friend, who is now your friend too. You always knew he liked you. Mark my words. This summer, we're going to see Mount Rushmore in the sky. I don't know, cousin. 67 is a lot of zeros. The math is not important. Enough that we've added it to the list. Doug pulls your journal out of the backpack and hands it to you. And you all read the summer bucket list with veneration. Get $100. This was one of the club's oldest goals. Year after year, you aim to raise $100 to someday be able to buy the drive-in theatre. Last year, you had come close, and Jimmy thought we needed just a little bit more ruthlessness. Catch an albino tarpon. Martin, Felix's father, was the only one who had ever caught one. Such a feat had earned him a picture on the wall of the fisherman's bar. And that was the time when everyone wanted to catch another albino tarpon. But time went by, and people started to distrust Martin's story, and the very existence of the albino tarpon. See Mount Rushmore in the clouds. Even though you understand the boy's doubts, you know we're looking at the problem in the wrong way. Finding shapes in the clouds speaks more about the person looking for them than the shapes themselves. The problem is to get the 3 of you to agree on what you're seeing. Then when that moment comes, when all 3 of you agree that you're seeing the same thing, you will have reached the most precious moment of your friendship. The Varney Lake map. You look at the locations you have marked on the map. Up the river. Felix had told you that before he was born, his parents had had a daughter. A daughter who would now be like you if it weren't for the strange disease that caused her death at a very young age. Maybe that's why Martin talked to you more than the rest. And that's why he told you about the place that you should go to start looking for the albino tarpon. Hill? Eagle Hill is located southwest from the lake. The perfect place to feel close to the sky and find different shapes in the clouds. Eagle Hill is one of the spots that couples, older kids, used to meet up at night. Until the winter Barbara disappeared. Barbara lived year-round at Varney Lake. Eagle Hill was the last place she'd been seen alive. And with Brandon, no less. After ruling out Brandon as a suspect, the police believed that Barbara had run away from Varney Lake. Rumour around town had it that she hadn't gotten along with her parents at all. General Market. The General Market is almost as old as the first settlement in Varney Lake. You can buy almost anything, from bread or butter to batteries or cigarettes. But even more important, the General Market is surrounded by a concrete playground where the kids from Varney Lake hang out a lot. And that playground is the ideal place to play Doug's games. Shouldn't we mark the area the vampire told us about? Doug's right. The old cobblestone road stretches for miles. No one knows when it was built, or by whom. The vampire had told you to follow it to the end, and to wait until it was 7 o'clock in the evening. Jimmy looks at Doug. I told my mum I'm sleeping at your house tonight. And I told mine I'm sleeping at yours. Doug and Jimmy laugh heartily. Their mothers are at each other's throats and not talking. It's the perfect alibi. What about you? Neither of them asks you anything. You know they did it out of respect. Your mum is usually so drunk at night that you don't have to make up an excuse to go out. You take a deep breath and get up. Summer is just beginning. Varney Lake seems full of possibilities. Fishing, get in market, stay here and see Doug's surprise. Let's go fishing. What fish does the old geezer want? You'd like to say something, but you choose to keep quiet. Old geezer? Martin's lost his daughter. 15? 9. Jimmy lets out a whistle. Did you bring him 9 fish? Will you tell us where to catch the albino tarpon? You nod. But how did you catch so many fish? Must come as a disaster. Doug's right. But what he doesn't take into account is that Martin gave you some tricks he learned over a lifetime of fishing. Gift wrapped. Try to remember his words. Don't laugh. Martin says that with fish we have to open our senses. Because it's an actual fishing minigame, Jesus. You know what synesthesia is? God, that was a hard one. Synesthesia is the ability to perceive something with a different sense than the one stimulated. Seeing a colour when you hear a musical note, for example. Martin says to be a good fisherman, you have to develop synesthesia. If you catch something and try to pull it out of the water, there's going to be resistance. The fish is going to try and get loose. What you have to do is imagine those movements in a specific colour. Green for weak, yellow for normal, red for sudden. As long as you respond with movements that compensate for the fish's attempt to escape, we're going to tire it out, and we're going to be able to get it out of the water. Jimmy looks confused. After a few seconds, Doug starts laughing. You say my games are complicated. You don't feel like arguing with your cousin. This is not a game. Fishing is an activity. And as with any activity, what really matters is to dedicate the necessary time to learn all its secrets. You lost it. Fuck's sake. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. You didn't catch anything. But you just didn't feel like fishing anymore. What do you think he meant? I think it was clear. Especially after seeing how you were shaking in the middle. Huh? Yeah, right. Wasn't it you that had to scream when he bit the deer? Huh? You're a little bored of listening to them fight. It's usually something you enjoy. But there are times when they seem childish. You think about your boyfriend. What's he doing right now? Does he miss you? Do you miss him? Here. The end of the old road. Chopped a twig with a razor. might work as a stake. I brought a silver chain. For a few seconds, no one says anything. What time is it? You look at the clock. It's almost 7. Brandon didn't show up all day, did he? You don't think that... Doug suddenly goes quiet. Feel that? You feel it too. A vibration. Some kind of electricity. And a burning smell. Ah, it's Castlevania! Shit! What's that? No. I'm sorry. I just those expressions. Oh. Come here. Come on. Jimmy still surprises you. A few minutes ago he seemed... What words did you use? Childish. Now you don't quite know what to think. What do you think? We go in? Okay. We're here. You nod your head. He takes a step forward, but Doug grabs him by the shoulder. Shouldn't we wait until we're invited? Look, that's funny. I thought only my kind had to worry about that. Come with me. You look at Doug. Doug looks at Jimmy. And Jimmy looks at you. No expression. Jimmy strides forward and forces you to take a few quick steps so as not to be left behind. Ah. Yes. Wow. I feel small in there. I've never seen a house with such high ceilings. There was a time when everything was different. You would have been greeted by my servants. Entertained until I decided to join you. What would you like to drink? Water, soda. I'll just go with water. I don't think he knows what soda is. I'll have water. Only water. Boo! Bad joke. Vampire's unhappy. An awkward silence follows Jimmy's joke. Soda, then? Doug's eyes widen. Me too. Your cousin can't stay away from sugary drinks. You know what? Let's make it 3 sodas. To keep things simple. You try to make up for Jimmy's attitude, but smile. Maybe there's some in the pantry. I'll be back in a minute. As soon as the door to the huge dining room closes, the 3 of you jump out of your chairs. How old is this furniture? Who are all these people? You see the little bats on theirs? None of you can contain your amazement. After all, you're in a vampire's house. Holy water. Doug has had a hiss and you can't help but laugh. I'm sure he's been digging up vampire jokes all afternoon. Jimmy doesn't say anything, and your laughter doesn't last long. The silence is oppressive. I wonder if the walls of the dining room had ever had the sound of people laughing. You unconsciously fondle with your bracelet, and you're thankful it's silver. The door opens and none of you say anything. You are lucky. I found the carbonated beverages in one of the pantries. Doug and Jimmy uncork their bottles, and they don't like what they hear. A faint hissing sound, like a balloon quietly deflating. You see the bottling date? Try to speak softly so the vampire won't hear you. One of my maids always said, soda never expires. Did he hear you? How? vampires have superhuman hearing? I know you have a lot of questions. Brandon, for example. You won't have to worry about him anymore. Did you kill him? What do you think I am? Let's just say he's not going to be able to hurt anyone anymore. Listen carefully. You saved me, and now I owe you. What about the drive-in theater? The question takes you by surprise. Is the vampire also able to read your minds? Or is there a simpler explanation? You like horror movies. What's this dog doing? Why is he even telling him stuff? Give me a minute. I have something to show you. Something to show us? How many of the dozens of horror movies you've seen include a line just like that one? You wait for the door to close. And you don't have to say anything. You try to hold back your laughter and breathe through your nose. Why did we run? Doug tries to catch his breath. What do you mean, why? That old guy's a freak. And we don't want to die in his haunted house. You look at Jimmy and smile. Jimmy smiles back. Just a second. And when you realise, you look down and pull your arm away. Law, they left before I showed them my limited edition signed the Bela Lugosi cape. Fucking kids, man. With Lou in the autumn 1981. I'll tell you what. You listen to them talking and you think about the best way to arrange the material for the book. On the one hand, you have the activities they did during the day, all the things that strengthened them as a group and made the story more human. On the other hand, the first night at the vampires, a dinner that didn't turn out as the vampire had probably expected. You adjust your glasses, a habit almost as old as you. Why are you asking yourself all these questions? At what point had you lost confidence in your writing process? You'd like to write as you used to, one chapter after the other, without worrying too much about the structure. Books are nothing more than an act of accumulation, you said in one of the prefaces you'd been commissioned to write at some point. Now, nobody commissions anything from you. You'd had a hard time finding a publisher for the new book. And I think 10 years ago, any non-fiction publisher in the country would have paid astronomical amounts to have you among their authors. Ooh. Finally, good sign. The story of these 3 kids had made you lose track of time. Did the same thing happen to your future readers? You'll have to excuse me. I have to make a phone call. I don't think it'll take more than 10 minutes. There's a phone across the street. Jimmy and Christine nod. Before you leave, you reach into your pockets. Oh. Good. Screen recorder to screen recorder. Let's see. I always have a spare change. In case something happens with my son. In a second, but you notice the expression on Christine's face the moment she mentions her son. It doesn't take a professional to notice the tension that still exists between those two. Thank you, Christine. I'll be back in 5 minutes. 10 at the most. You know they won't miss you too much. Me and Christine have a lot to talk about. It's raining outside. Oh, wait, no shit! Oh my god, it's Goat Baby! It's not Shredder, it's Goat Baby! Goat Baby's watching! It's raining outside, and you think about the concept of the pathetic fallacy. This makes your morning a commercial success that your last books didn't achieve. Yeah, nature really fucking cares. The funny thing is, you don't really care about money. Well, you're not interested in it as an end in itself. You just see it as a tool that allows you to continue your research and to do damage control. You've made some decisions in your career that you regretted, but you've always tried to make up for it. Go to baby! Your heart almost came out of your mouth. Thanatos, you motherfucker! Picking up the phone and the coin is returned. I'm sorry. Did I scare you? You let the air out of your mouth. Losing many things over the years. Terrible things. Unimaginable for some. You can't deny that Thanatos has indeed frightened you. What happened? Why did you leave the diner? Thanatos seems nervous. And he doesn't need to tell you anything for you to know what's wrong with him. Go. 10 minutes tops. You back to the booth and dial Lee's number. He has a friend named Lee. Cast a spell on me. Lee is Thanatos' adoptive father. Yes! Yes! Let's go, baby! And your friend, you might say, you feel responsible for everything that had happened to him. After all, Lee was one of the main characters in your book about the Mothman and the 1966 meteor shower. The phone rings. Ooh, I think about that night in 66. Since that fateful night in late November 1966, Lee could feel the effects of every possible present at once. Oh yeah, shit, I remember that. It's hard for you to imagine something like that. To feel each and every possible present as if they had happened. What impact does this have on a person? It was not a superpower, that much is clear. It was a curse. Lee's relationship with Victoria, whom he had married a few months before their daughter was born, had deteriorated in recent years. Feeling all those presents where Victoria had lied to him, insulted him, cheated on him, belittled him, or worse, had been too much for Lee. And that was why he had moved to the other end of the country, and only you have his number. Hello? How many presents will there be where it's not you? The other end of the phone. It's someone else. These presents be quantified, enumerated for analysis. Shake your head trying to concentrate on the conversation and stop thinking about all the possible ramifications that every act, no matter how small, may have. You think I've forgotten? He laughs. He starts telling you about the last stories he read. Lee is a fan of crime fiction. You've given him several dozen issues of the Ellery Queen mystery magazine. You call him religiously if he can tell you what happened in the stories he liked the most. Lee needs to talk. He needs to be in contact with another human being. It's the least you could do after ruining his life. What about my son? Is he ruining anything? You notice his voice breaks when he mentions Xanatos. You tell him he is. He's helping you observe the people you're interviewing. If you've been summoned, you see Xanatos walking across the street. You cover the phone with your hand and call him. You say Jimmy's name and make a gesture for Xanatos to watch him. Xanatos nods, and you go back to talking to Lee. Oh, I don't want to take anything for granted this time. Lee doesn't respond. You think you know what he's thinking. Ooh. Thank you. Before you can say anything, he hangs up. You hold your head and take a deep breath. You had screwed him up. He thanks you. You think about the new book. The biography of a very special vampire. Will it be okay when they find out? Will they know the whole truth? Christine has a family, but Jimmy, you know how much he suffered. It's impossible to foresee how he would react. Is there a possible present for every outcome? No. No. The end is always one, and only one. You have to learn to live with it. Okay. Whoopee. I love that Goat Baby's back. Although, seriously, what the fuck is he called Xanatos? Did he already know what his... Did the aliens give him a name and he already knew it? Yeah, well. You think you exist, and therefore you do. This is nice, isn't it? But you'd rather not think, and exist without knowing it. So, what are we doing today? Fitting, go for general market, go to Eagle Hill. Okay. We'll go to Eagle Hill. You remember when you asked how to play? Christine smiles and you pretend to be angry. There aren't too many rules. I think we transform something, point to the sky, and tell the others. The glance. Rabbit. No. Christine's obsessed with Mount Rushmore. You don't care that much. Looking for Mount Rushmore in the sky is just another excuse to spend more time with her. And maybe if we come in another time, after it rains with the sky clearing. Tell you the sort of fucking rabbit. Oh, they got him to sect, I see. No. Yes. There's a timing thing. Involves two of them coming together. Gonna be a skull. Gotta wait for it. Gotta wait for a second. Skull. Yes. Okay, that'll do. Blood. Creature from the Black Lagoon. You have to see it. It's hard to compete with Christine. House of Wax, Invaders from Mars, The Thing from Another World. No matter what the horror movie is, she's watched them all. That's not fair. Your boyfriend works at the movie theatre. There he is again. Dean's boyfriend. Is it really necessary to mention him so much? Take a deep breath and look up at the sky. The shape of the truck's hood fits perfectly against your back. You force yourself to smile. Toad season, Doug? Doug raises his eyebrows and starts making noises with his mouth. Oh no. You can't contain your laughter. You're disgusting. Doug laughs too. The horse laugh, almost if he were choking. I remember that afternoon of last summer very well. Doug got on a vinyl record he was obsessed with. You seldom seen him like that. And how he insisted that you listen to it. The record was part of a collection documenting the sounds of the world. Everything from distant cultures to meteorological phenomena. Doug wasn't particularly interested in the collection, but this record, it was special. It included recordings of toads singing in the middle of mating season. Could you please stop? Christine's anger only made you laugh harder. Doug finally stopped imitating the toads. Laughter gradually fades away, and ends up turning into a sustained sigh. You look at your friend and think about what he confessed to you that afternoon. It was sad, but neither of you had older siblings, or a father figure to lean on. That vinyl record with its songs of codes during mating season was the closest thing Doug had to a Playboy. What's that? On that branch? See? That? Where? Oh, I'm Batman! The bat soars into the air with a loud screech. Come here! We know it's you! Whoa. Fucking children! How long have you been there? You're not following us, are you? I told you. I'm indebted to you. He's a freak. That's very nice. Wait a minute. Brandon stopped bothering us, right? So, are we good? The vampire not. You can't deny that his presence at the drive-in bothers you a little. The drive-in is something for the three of you. The only child's club. The only child's club? The question takes you by surprise. Was that what Christine had said? That the vampire could read your minds? I am an only child. Oh. At least, that's what I thought. Something in his eyes that forces you to pay attention. A sadness that you can relate to. And considering Doug and Christine's silence, you could swear they're feeling something similar. Is he really an only child? You become a vampire. Let's just ask the prying question. How does someone turn into a vampire? He puts his hand on his jugular and remains silent. Is he really an only child? The vampire tells you that he believed so for most of his life, raised by a strong mother and an older gentleman. But after the conversation, he had discovered that he was born on the other side of the Atlantic, and that he had a twin brother. However, his original family had given him to a couple who couldn't have children, and who were about to emigrate to the United States. Isn't that tragic? Two brothers, separated at birth, and turned into two only childs. What's his real name? The vampire says his name is not important, but that you can call him Lst. The vampire just tells you to call him Lst. Listen to him. Don't deny he'd suffered just as much as the three of you. What do the others say? Did they give Lst a chance to prove himself as a new member of the club? You can find me in the club. We got to play as Goat, baby! Fuck yes! Goat, baby. Lou calls it Goat Tourette's. You know he doesn't mean it in a bad way. As well as being your godfather, Lou is a writer. And sometimes writers use words like shortcuts. Your mum didn't like it when Lou said Goat Tourette's. You had to read about Tourette's. And you understood the comparison. Doctors call attention a muscle group that an individual with Tourette's relieves with motor tics, the premonitory urge. Your case is different. The urgency is not focused on a specific muscle group, but rather in the whole of your being. With every kick, every jump, and every blow, you feel alive. As if all of a sudden the veil were pulled back. Goat Tourette's is what allows you to bear being unable to show yourself to the world as you really are. As you were when your parents and your godfather found you that night in 1966. Goat Tourette's is the way you found to forgive yourself, at least for a little while. Oh my god! Oh my god! What? I did the up. Oh, I have to wait until the screen the green thing. Yay! The spasmodic movements release the accumulated tension, and for a moment feel the veil being lifted. I am Xanatos, son of Victoria and Lee, godson of Lu, and I am a goat man. You breathe a sigh of relief. You know the sensation won't last long. You still have things to do. You wonder if Lu made the right choice in selecting you for the job. Xanatos, private detective. You hope one day to have your own sign on the door of an office downtown. But it's still a long way off. You nod to Lu and walk back to the Niap Cafe. You're just starting, and for now your tasks are pretty simple. Lu asks you to watch Jimmy and Christine during the interview, and to follow Jimmy after the meeting. Your godfather had told you that, after telling them the truth, anything could happen, and that you had to be very careful with the consequences of their actions. And you? Was that what you were? A consequence of their actions? That was a very short one, but we got to do Goat DDR, and that was just the best thing ever. The raindrops pound the roof, and you have to speak loudly to be able to hear each other. Really coming down out there. Why does he feel the need to talk all the time? When you have nothing to say, you just stay quiet. Really coming down out there? Why describe what everyone can already see? How much longer will it rain? Is it worth waiting to see if it stops? Do you have the matches, Doug? Shrugs. I had to give them all to my mom. If you had a little more interest when I wanted to show you the puzzles, maybe I would have kept them. You stretch a bit. Do we go back then? Both of them nod. Jimmy seems like he's going to say something else, but ultimately changes his mind. Another of his astute observations. Your legs dangle from the platform. A gentle breeze caresses your arms, and you sigh. You wonder what you'll remember of all this 10 years from now. In 20. In 25? Let me think a little. You look at your cousin. Since the night you started hanging out with the vampire at the drive-in, the dynamics of the Only Child's Club have changed. Doug spends most of his time with Liz. And now you have more space for just the two of you. Jimmy seems to have closed in on himself. Liz talk about Maggie, talk about your boyfriend. Who's Maggie? Did you talk to Maggie? Huh? If you talk to Maggie... Jimmy looks at you for a few seconds and finally looks down. Called by to give my mum something. That's it. His "that's it" annoys you. As if Jimmy thinks he owes you an explanation. I like my cousin's games, but I don't know. I always feel there's something missing. You regret what you said as soon as the words leave your mouth. Out of everything you could have said about Doug, why'd you choose that? Something like what? Give an example. The 10 solitaire, for example. The solitaire? As It's a trick to make a super turn with 0 effort. Jimmy opens his eyes wide. First thing you have to do is add up the cards of each colour on the board. Let's suppose the black cards are up to 31 and the reds come to 38. Take 31 from 38 and you're left with 7. 7 in favour of red. Once you know that, the only thing left to do is flip the cards in the deck until you get a red 3. And when that happens, put it all down. The red 3 plus the 38 red cards on the table add up to 41. 41 minus 31 of the black ones. 10. Wow. Why did you tell Jimmy about the trick? Shouldn't you have talked to Doug first? Give him a chance to improve the solitaire? You don't want to admit it, but finding mistakes in your cousin's creation gives you a certain confidence. It's not just the satisfaction of finding someone else's mistakes. It's something else. Something you don't want to think about too much. Do you think what Liz said about the games is true? Sorry, what? Again, Jimmy raises his shoulders. He looks like he wants to say something, but regrets it. I don't know if it's true, but I think it makes sense. I always wonder about the origins of certain board games. I think they're an advanced society's experiment to study us. It seems more credible the idea that a random person could have designed something like chess. Did we talk about the boyfriend? Let's talk about the boyfriend! My boyfriend got Riku Browning's autograph. Repeat what he said. An autograph from the guy who played the creature from the Black Lagoon. He's not going to say anything. Can he at least be glad for you? Fuck. Maiden 4. Force. They finally finished the game. I don't know how much more you could take. You stand up and smooth out your pants. Doug starts picking up the pieces. One more. Oh, that's enough for today. Why don't you tell us one of your stories? This nods and you get ready to listen. Whoa. Which story would you like to hear? The clue make a Gilbert object Molly the Thief. Let's have Molly the Thief. Molly the Thief. Mello was on the run. He got robbed at the shopkeeper and was chased to the entrance of the forest. The chase did not stop there, and an hour later, when the sun finally set, Mello was sure he wouldn't be caught. Without letting up his pace and only stretching his arms forward to avoid hitting a tree, Milo continued on into the darkness of the forest. After walking for a while, the thief ran into a jagged wall. And almost at the same time, he had the growl closer than he would have liked. Surely he could not have managed to escape from the shoulders, only to end up being eaten by a bear. With his hands resting on the wall, he looked for a foothold so he could climb up. He was shaken, but the effort was worth it. The thief found the entrance to a small cave through which the animal would not fit. He crawled through the darkness and, too exhausted to do anything else, he fell asleep. Milo awoke at the first light of morning. Look at my fucking nightmare face! He looked inside and noticed the cave was deeper than he thought the night before. He squatted down. He moved forward until he reached a gallery where he could finally stretch out. He couldn't believe his luck. It was the perfect hiding place. Not just from the bear, but from the town authorities. He looked around and noticed a group of mushrooms that had grown on some kind of mound. He approached and plucked them. His belly was rumbling. Without thinking too much, he took a bite. He was surprised by his own recklessness, but it tasted so good. He took a second bite and his legs went slack. He fell to the ground, writhing in pain. He tried to crawl to the exit to call for help, but only managed to let out a weak whimper. At first he felt his body burning, but then he lost all sensation. He was completely paralyzed by the toxins. Unable to even express horror on his face, Marlowe watched as the mound of earth seemed to move. It was not death, but a strange creature with colorful mushrooms growing on its back. The creature advanced a few feet towards Marlowe and began to hide. Giving back to a dozen unloosened skinned shapeless offspring that began to crawl, opening and closing their mouths. And Marlowe, unable to even close his eyes or move his head to the other side, watched the hideous creatures slowly swell as they ate him alive. You didn't quite know what to think. Is there teaching to Marlowe's story? Yeah, don't eat strange fucking mushrooms, clearly. Thou shalt not steal? Curiosity killed the cat? Personally, you like stories where the line between good and evil was a little bit fuzzier. One more. That's to Gilbert the Lumberjack. I will tell you the story of Gilbert the Lumberjack. Gilbert wielded the axe as a few others could. He lived a nomadic life, dedicated exclusively to work. Carpenters and builders adored him. One day, while chopping at a very thick oak tree, Gilbert heard a growl. He pressed his ear to the trunk. Would the tree be complaining? He removed the axe from the trunk and swung it again. There was no doubt. There was the groan again. Confused, he dropped the axe and paused to think for a few minutes. Gilbert did not particularly like his job, but it was the only thing he knew how to do. He had estimated that if he kept doing it for 5 more years, he could retire and live in one of the small towns he had passed by. Determined to follow through with his plan, he picked up the axe and ignored the groans of the oak tree. Nightmare face time, but from that day on, Gilbert began to hear the sobs of all the trees he felled. Oaks, pines, firs, beeches, they all suffered under the lumberjack's axe. Although it was not easy for him, Gilbert learned to ignore the whining. It was the only way he could keep working. 5 years later, Gilbert retired. He settled in the village, and soon after met Astrid, whom he married. Astrid was slender and frail-looking. Gilbert loved her deeply. Before long, the young woman contracted an illness that left her bedridden. She lay on her bed day long, and Gilbert brought her tea and sang to her. Astrid would weak her every day, until one afternoon her attack of pain foretold her end. The woman kept rising, crying and moaning loudly. Meanwhile, Gilbert was in the courtyard of the house. Although he could hear, he kept carving without even blinking. The figures of 2 lovers melting in a kiss or a sprig of oak. Don't imagine Astrid's last hours. Did you feel sick? Do you want to hear another story? This is the story of a Godfrey, the glue maker. Godfrey, who was a glue maker, he made glue from horse bones and hooves. He wasn't the best animal glue in the region, but he had been very lucky. He sold the glue to a famous bookbinder in town. However, once he had built a very lucrative business, Godfrey had not been able to find love. He was a romantic, a true believer in the concept of the other half. One afternoon, crouched over the dead body of a young foal he had brought from a widow, he had an idea. After shaking the dirt off it, the animal had fallen off a cliff and crushed its owner. He cut off the horse's tail with a big pair of scissors, stood up, and approached a mirror. He raised the horse's tail behind his head, and he liked what he saw. Nightmare face! It was a new Godfrey, younger, healthier even, with long silky hair. He didn't take much to make up his mind. Didn't he make animal glue for a living? Sorry, my vampire voice is turning Italian now. Blah, 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 vampire, blah. Didn't he make animal glue for a living? A few weeks later, with renewed confidence, Godfrey met the beautiful Isolda, a young woman who ended up being his wife and whom he loved fervently. One day, while Godfrey was in his workshop working on the hanging carcass, Isolde approached him from behind. He was smiling from ear to ear. She had good news to give her husband. But when she touched his back, something strange happened. His shoulder dislocated with a red crack. Both arms shot back as if powered by strong pistons. Hit landed on her chest. Godfrey turned around and saw Isolde on the floor, her eyes wide open. He ran to her, and to his horror, found she was dead. Burst into tears, his face resting on Isolde's shoulder. Godfrey cried for a long time, unable to move. His tears moistened the end of the horse's tail he had glued to his head almost a year ago. Wow. Look at Doug. Doug looks at you and nods. That was fucking stupid. Sorry, I'll say no. It's getting late. Doug asks for one more and looks at Jimmy. Christine's right. Doug starts croaking like a toad. You pretend not to hear him. Blah. I'm sorry for the brief side of a phone call there, by the way. I forgot to turn my phone on to mute. My bad. Good loot. At least enjoyed telling these stories. There's something about the way he moved his hands, the way he projected his voice, his shadow. It looked like... I don't know. Look at these people staring at. Like he could control the darkness around him. Christine shifts in her chair. But his most striking feature were his eyes. Yeah. Something about the way he looked at you. It took you to the very heart of his stories. Even if many of them didn't make sense. Like whatever the fuck was going on with the piston arms at the end there for Godfrey. Yeah, piston arms! Ah! Oh wait, no, that's isn't you? The couple look at you in silence. They expect you to say something. When's the last time something like this happened? The old couple smile. And something snaps inside you. You tell them you are not that person. I'm not the author of... Please, I'm busy. You hear the old man tuts, they walk away. No. Be an asshole. He's holding copy of a book you obviously recognise. Risen by Falling Stars. The subtitle your editor added, and you never really liked, The Secret Story of the Cryptid Wars. Remember the text on the dust jacket. Risen by Falling Stars by Lou Hill features exclusive first-person reports of the last battle of the Cryptid Wars in 1966. Risen by Falling Stars had sold more than 100,000 copies. Christine coughs and you apologise. Smiles the old couple stick with you. Remember those smiles when you released your last book and couldn't sell the minimum required by the publisher. Where were we? We were apparently being rude to old people. Are you him? It's like, who? Be clearer, old man! Chapter 9. Come in. Varney Lake. You know that if you lived here, it wouldn't be the same. But all of this has value because it has an end. Christine takes out her notebook. Although you did lots of things, you couldn't achieve anything on the summer bucket list. But does it matter? You see your friends smile. You can't help but copy them. You'd like to tell them how much you love them. But you feel embarrassed. Will you be brave tonight? You don't understand. Why is it so hard to talk to her? But maybe it's not your fault. Maybe you never really had the choice. Like every year, all the kids gather on the beach on the lake to watch the fireworks. The explosions of colour in the sky mark the end of the summer. What the fuck is up with that guy's face? Even though you try to smile, you find it hard to hide the pit you've been feeling in your stomach for the last few days. The simple realization that nothing lasts forever. How many more summers like this one will you have? You hear that? Neither of you says anything. Neither one of you ever says anything. Toads. Christine grimaces and looks at you. Taps you on the shoulder. Croak. Doug bursts into laughter. Yes, Jimmy, croak. I've never seen Maggie, so go on, croak like a horny toad. Doug looks down. What's wrong with Christine? She knows her cousin's in love with Maggie. Say something like that. Doesn't she talk to you all the time about her boyfriend? Doug kicks a rock. You want to say something, but you see Brandon. He looks lost. Oh no, Dracula ate his brain. You remember end of summer parties of the past, and most kids avoided the place where Brandon and his gang hang out. Brandon, everyone was afraid of. What had Liz done to him to leave him like that? Look what we have here, Steve. The guys surround Brandon, and Brandon doesn't seem to understand what's about to happen. Bert, who Brandon once pushed out of a moving car. Tommy, from whom Brandon had stolen a slinky just to wrap it around his leg, leaving him with marks that, according to the doctor who treated him, were permanent. Steve, whom Brandon had lifted by the collar of his shirt with one hand and his underpants with the other. He used him as if he were a battering ram to take down his friend, while the rest of the gang exploded with laughter. And your friends? Everyone had been talking about it. Without violent abuse of Brandon, the boys were no longer afraid of them, and none of the other members of the gang would dare to come to the fireworks. But what about Brandon? Why had he come? Pretty late. Everything happens too fast. He hits the ground. Everyone starts kicking him. Stop, please! You'll see, motherfucker! You like that, son of a bitch? Each explosion illuminates Brandon's terrified face from a different angle. Look at the big baby crying. We call mommy. Alright, she'd rather stick her head in the oven than watch you grow up. Fucking hell! On the smoke dissipate, Brandon takes a few steps back. Look! The guys pointed at him, laughing. He pissed his pants! Oh, I suppose to the fireworks. He won't bother anyone anymore. Some spit on him before walking away. Others kick him. None of you move. Brandon looks at you. You look down at the floor, not quite knowing what to feel. Fireworks mark the end of the summer, and the beginning of something that haunts you to this day. Ooh, now we've got Christine in 81. Interesting. Why, Christine? Why didn't we do anything? Also imagine what's going to happen. No, it's true. We just watched, Christine. Doug, Christine, that vengeful son of a bitch Brandon killed him. Killed him! If we'd intervened that night at the beach, if we'd stopped them. No. It's not fair. There was nothing you could have done. Or at least, nothing that could have changed your cousin's destiny. Lou clears his throat. The noise brings you back to the present. There's no easy way to put it, so I'm just gonna say it. Doug, your cousin, your friend, everyone thought was dead in the months following that summer of 1954. He's alive. He shocked. What? Yeah, and I can prove it. But Brandon. Your head starts spinning. Just listen to me. It won't take long. The newspaper is from December 9th, 1954. Your cousin had disappeared on December 1st. Every newspaper tells more or less the same story. Watching from a window, an eyewitness saw a big boy savagely beating a smaller one. He went inside to call the police. When he came back, both boys were gone. A few days later, the witness recognized Doug's face on the missing posters put up by the family. The same boy the big guy had beaten ferociously. The police showed him some pictures. He also recognized Brandon, prime suspect in the investigation after everything that had happened that summer at Varney Lake, and whom the police had been unable to question because he was missing. Everyone drew the same obvious conclusion. Brandon was behind Doug's disappearance. But the newspapers also mention a second witness in passing, Benjamin Vanstone, an addict who lived on the streets. The police took his testimony, although his statements were dismissed on the assumption it was some kind of hallucination. Vanstone stated that a winged figure appeared above the big boy, and that with one swipe it had cut his head off. The smaller boy was dying. The figure held him in their arms and stuck its fangs into his neck. At that point, Vanstone got scared, hid in an alley, and didn't come out for a few hours. A few days later, he showed up to testify. He couldn't stand the nightmares anymore. Nobody believed him. You understand what this means, right? It's turned Doug into a vampire. Lou nods. Oh. Can't be. Jimmy speaks softly, with a broken voice. You look at him with an overwhelming desire to hug him. You? What do you feel? Your cousin, Doug, is alive. And what about Brandon? What had Liz done with Brandon's body? Did his family deserve to know what happened to him? Does it matter? The story Lou just told you was true. Brandon had tried to kill your cousin. Brandon. Never mind that he was your first kiss. Brandon was a son of a bitch. You take a deep breath. How many years has it been? Oh, Doug would have told us. Look. I took this picture a few weeks ago. The book I'm writing. Biography about Doug. The Vampire Kid. Ah, Vampire Town. You with Goat Baby to have adventures. Vampire Kid and Goat Baby. Now it's up a Jimmy at 81. Can't believe it. Seconds pass. Raindrops clatter relentlessly on the sidewalk. The perseverance of a woman could thought. I think Doug could have contacted you in all these years. Where's he now, right? Lou had told you he didn't know the current whereabouts of your friend, the Vampire Kid. And he'd let you know as soon as he had more information. And we have to wait. Listen. Are you okay? Can I give you a ride somewhere? No. Come here. I'll take you home. No. Thanks. I need to walk. Jimmy? You make an effort to look her in the eyes. Christine doesn't say anything else. You give her a kiss on the cheek. You walk away in the rain. Doug is alive. Didn't he ever call his mother? Does he know How his family suffered? How you suffered? I still remember the day Christine called you to tell you about it. Christine was sure they were going to find him, but that was fine. But you suspected the worst. Senior year of high school was one of the hardest. All you could think about were Doug's plans. It seemed so unfair that someone had taken away his future. Far from diminishing, pain grew as the years went by. Alcohol helped you sometimes, made you forget. You never stopped visiting your friend's mother, even though she didn't lose hope. She suddenly flew into fits of hysteria that tore you apart. You think about what Lou told you, about the witness who'd seen the posters peppering the whole town. As soon as you heard about his disappearance, you travelled to join the search. Doug lived in the same town as Brandon. You did not see that something like this would happen. But Brandon would seek revenge. So much pain. The alcohol, the street fights, the army, Vietnam, shootings, the smell of the jungle, return to the country, the desire to leave everything. The nights sleeping on the streets, the fights in the shelter. And now a guy like Lou comes along and tells you that Doug is alive? What the fuck does he think he is? You try to calm down. You know someone is following you. The same person who was watching you in the bar, hiding behind a newspaper. Not the first time you've been followed since you came back from Vietnam. You know exactly what you have to do to lose them. After a while, you get out of the van and wander aimlessly. At least that's what you think you're doing. The rain follows your every move. You hurry your pace, driven by a force you can't define. It's that attraction. Deer, you suddenly think. Doug? This was something you and Doug used to talk about. In his magazines, Doug had read about a doctor who claimed there were people who had a hard time seeing what they were thinking. People who were thinking about an apple, and who couldn't see it in their head. He didn't see the apple. He could swear that for a second, you could see the door. The deer, exactly as it had been back in '54. Oh. Living theatre. But the deer in the mill, something or someone brought you here. You're soaking wet and your legs hurt. Far have you walked already? Across the grounds facing the huge screen, among the poles of the drive-in's audio system. Some are crooked, some broken in too, but others still have their speakers plugged in. You even think you can hear static. There he is. Doug. Your friend who had died. Now is alive. Doug! Doug takes a few seconds to answer. Who the fuck are you? You croak at the top of your lungs. Me? Jimmy! Let me see this. Why, Doug? Fuck, didn't you tell us anything? Your heartbeat quickens with every step he takes. He doesn't look like the same Doug. Jimmy. Why? What do you think, I didn't cry? Your mum, your friends, me. You have any idea how much we suffered because of you? You'd like to tell him about the first year of the desperate search, of that false hope whenever the phone rang, of the grades at school, of the jobs you got kicked out of Vietnam, of the alcohol, the streets, the hunger. You don't even know where to start. freezes your blood. You stop feeling the floor beneath your feet. Let go of me! No! One of the broken speaker poles pierces your stomach. Teenage. Pulp. They won't let me. Dark. I wouldn't forgive myself for being late again. Come here. Let me help you. Reflection of the drive-in screen makes Doug's fangs glow. Just take a second, and you'll feel better. The last of your strength, you grab Doug by the arm. You shake your head. Please. Listen to me. Quiet. Doug looks away, but he doesn't retract his fangs. You try to smile. You try to imitate a toad. Little by little, you feel yourself disappearing. You close your eyes. You wait for everything to fade away. Fucking hell. Okay, that was really good. That was really good. It is interesting that it doesn't have sort of the same death states that Mothman 1966 did, but I'm guessing that's because of the whole thing with Lee's power of seeing every possible timeline. But yeah, that was good. Didn't go where I expected it was going to go. I don't know. John Carpenter's Christine. Oh, he did make him a vampire. Okay, so then catch a fedora, catch a shoe, catch 3 fish, catch 9 fish. Also read Catch 22, great book. Catch the albino tarpon. Make 2 vampire jokes, get $100. Lose a dice hotspot. See Matt Rushman in the sky. That's not much. You know about Mothman 1966. Sign the book. Be an asshole. Make Xanatos walk silly like that amazing comedy bit. Oh my god. Discover Xanatos' face. Ask an insensitive question. Formats of puzzles, so all matches puzzles, use all your money, see 4 different common forms inside. You lose a catch. Top secret scene 1. What do you need to do to get the different secret scenes, I wonder? It's replayability, or it's based on other stuff. Yeah, Solitaire 10, that could be fun. To see about that Super 10 trip. So you got to add up the total. Okay, so we got red. So we have got 8, 10, 20 in red. And 20 in red. And then we've got 19, 22, 28, 33. 44. Fucking hell. 34 and 20, so there is a 14 difference. I don't even think that's doable. I think I gotta dislike one of them. Okay, hold on. Let me just... Okay, let's try this now. So, this time we have got 11, 12, 14. Okay. Okay. You can't fix on the game, but it's well, yeah. Okay, but anyway, so that trick we give it requires some stuff. But yeah, that was really good. Yeah. So yes. So anyway, this game is available on Steam. It's also available, I believe, on itch.io. But hope you have enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, click the little notification button. Yeah, I will hopefully be putting up some more stuff soon. Do wish you have some hot time off coming up, so I should dedicate time to recording some stuff. Yes, you can find me on various places. I will have my card thing in the link. I'm still trying to get on fucking Blue Sky. I am still on X, this generically named thing ever. It hasn't exploded yet. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. Blah, 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 blah.